Hello everyone, this is Chakawet here, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my top 10 LGBT plus characters of Fallout. One thing I love about the Fallout games is the ease in which they incorporate LGBT plus characters and options for same-sex relations, even in the older games. It just shows how progressive these games have always been. The flirty perks in New Vegas are some of my favorite things in any games, just because of the doors they open for so many characters. Up at number 10, I have chosen the companions in Fallout 4. I realize starting this list off like this may seem like a bit of a cop-out, and it probably is. But truly, it just comes from a place of affection for the romance options with Kate, Paladin Danse, Piper Hancock, Porter Gage, Curie, Robert McCready, and Preston Garvey. Each of these companions can be romanced by a sole survivor of any gender, and each have different requirements, speeches, and reactions to being romanced. So while it isn't necessarily representation, it's a good attempt to make the game more inclusive to all players. Though not a companion, it is also possible to romance Magnolia regardless of gender. 9. Miria and Davin. Though not a big point in either character or a big deal in the game itself, Miria and Davin are siblings who can be slept with by a chosen one of any gender with a high charisma stat and a good town reputation. Sleeping with them will result in being married to one of them, making Fallout 2 one of the first video games to contain same-sex marriage. If Miria and Davin are married, they will become a permanent member of the Chosen One's party. Otherwise, they don't add much to the game. 8. Major Knight. Stationed at the Mojave Outpost, Major Knight is an officer for the NCR Army and keeps logs of travelers passing through the outpost, as well as repairing the weapons and armor for the troopers. A male courier with the confirmed bachelor perk will learn that the knight is a closeted gay man, revealing that the soldiers within the outpost frown upon same-sex relationships. Though Knight is obviously a little interested in the courier, he eventually turns him down in fear of scrutiny. Wow, you can hear my breathing a lot in this, holy crap. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I can't stop hearing it. I feel that Major Knight, let's get back on topic. I feel that Major Knight is an interesting look into how the NCR still has a lot of growing to do with what morals they teach their soldiers to uphold. 7. Andre McCod. Andre lived and hunted in Far Harbor with his husband John until John was blindsided and killed by a Mirelurk hunter. Spending too much time in the fog, Andre fell ill and was kept in half-hospice on a bed in the bait shop. The sole survivor has the option of healing Andre, and if they do so, he divulges his plan to buy all the guns he can carry and go back out on the island once again to kill everything in his path. With enough charisma, it is possible to dissuade Andre from his revenge mission. 6. Corporal Betsy. Enrolled in the NCR Army, Betsy is part of the 1st Recon and is in charge of training 10 of Spades. She is suffering from severe trauma due to being captured by the raider Cook, who raped her, then attempted to burn her alive. With the help of the courier and the rest of the 1st Recon squad, Betsy can be convinced to seek therapy from Dr. Usanagi. Betsy is a lesbian woman and will heavily flirt with a female courier with a high enough charisma and the Cherchez la Femme perk. 5. Dr. Alex Richards. Dr. Richards is a field medic who enrolled with the NCR Army prior to the First Battle of Hoover Dam. He is stationed at Camp Forlorn Hope and has, over time, become disillusioned with the NCR after all of the injured men he has had to take care of. Richards is openly gay and will flirt with a male courier by calling them his sweet little buttercup or his fine dear, and will also say that they have a pretty face. If the Wild Wasteland perk is taken, which take it, a spot on the credits will say, Dr. Richards is a dude and he likes dudes. 4. Carol and Greta. Carol and Greta are 2 ghoul women living in Underworld who run Carol's place together. After the bombs fell, Carol sought shelter in the Museum of History's Afterlife exhibit, which had remained mostly undamaged. Other survivors soon joined her until they all started to slowly become ghouls. Carol met Greta when Greta came to the museum, and the two have remained very close ever since. At times, Greta is even jealous of the relationship that Carol has with her adopted son, the ghoul Gob. If the lone wanderer is female, Greta will also warn them to stay away from Carol. Which, stay away from Carol, they're awesome. 3. Veronica Santangelo. Why did I say that with an accent? I don't know. Veronica was born and raised within the Brotherhood. Her mother was a scribe while her father was a paladin, and both were killed when she was very young. Because of this, Father Elijah took an interest in her education and eventually became a bit of a foster parent to her. Within the Brotherhood, Veronica fell in love with a scribe named Christine. Unfortunately, homophobia within the Brotherhood broke them apart, and Christine left. Veronica was heartbroken and never learned that it was really Elijah who separated them. After Elijah disappeared, Veronica was left disillusioned by the Brotherhood's goals, and finally they met the courier. The courier can either encourage her to leave the Brotherhood or stay with them. 2. Christine. Unbeknownst to Veronica, Christine didn't truly leave the Brotherhood. Instead, she joined the Circle of Steel. After Elijah abandoned the Brotherhood after the disaster at Helios 1, Christine began to track him and made it all the way to Big Mountain, where she was experimented on and lost her ability to read and write. She was rescued by Ulysses, who then nursed her back to health. After the two separated, Christine continued her mission and followed Elijah to the Sierra Madre casino. It was there that Dean Domino locked her in an autodoct that ripped her vocal cords out and repeated the procedure until she became mute. When she healed, she had the voice of Vera Keys. When the courier arrives, they can gain Christine's trust, and if female, use the Cherchez la Femme perk to establish a deep connection with her and eventually help her complete her mission of having revenge against Elijah. And for number 1, I have chosen Arcade Gannon. When Arcade was a young child, his father passed away. Growing up, he had developed a very close bond with his mother and the Enclave remnants that his father was a part of. Eventually, Arcade settled in the Mojave and joined the Followers of the Apocalypse to help the sick in Freeside. Arcade is openly gay and full of self-deprecating humor. A male courier with the confirmed bachelor perk can flirt with him to convince him to join them in their adventures. Arcade despises the Legion and also wishes to reunite the Enclave remnants for assistance against the Legion during the upcoming Battle of Hoover Dam, which the courier can assist him with. An article I read about the representation in these games put it better than I could, so I'll be sure to leave a link to it in the description. But basically they said that Arcade is excellent representation because his gayness neither enhances nor detracts from his character, because he's simply a well-written character who happens to be gay, and that's excellent. If you're wondering why a certain Rose of Sharon Cassidy wasn't on this list, it's just cause the only real example of her possible pansexuality is that she says when she's drunk she doesn't care who she sleeps with, and I feel like her being drunk, that wasn't enough to call it representation, if you understand. I still love her as a character though. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed my list and found it helpful, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye!
Do you believe in kissing, honey? You bet I do. Well, I believe in kissing, honey, when the moon is new.
So as many of you know, I am a citizen of the USA, and currently our country is suffering from a crisis at the border. Immigrants seeking asylum in the US are being detained. Families are being separated and kept in detention centers in horrible conditions. All of it is scary and horrible, and a bit hard to come to terms with. So until things start getting better, I'm placing this message at the end of all of my videos to try to use what little influence I have to bring awareness and help. There are a number of things you can do to help. One of the simplest things is to donate to Immigrant Families Together, who are fundraising money to pay the bonds of detained immigrants and also provide necessities to families such as hygiene products, food, and shelter. This organization is also looking for volunteers. You can also take direct action by calling your state's government's officials and try to make your voice heard, and also refuse to let your taxes go to fund these facilities. There are many groups online that are looking for help to make sure these people are treated like human beings and receiving the help they desperately need. Let's prove that there is still hope for humanity and help solve this crisis in the most humane way possible. Remember, showing kindness isn't political. It's just the right thing to do. Thank you.